All right, everybody, welcome in to Spring Sports Media Day here at Morningside University. Thank you all so much for being here, and for those of you watching online as well, thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Zach James, Sports Information Director. Nick Booth is behind the ones and twos today. Before we get started here, just a reminder to our media in-house and watching online, please wear your credentials whenever you're attending an in-person event. Just as a common courtesy, and all non-game day interview requests should go through myself or Nick. Our coaches will introduce the athletes after they are speaking, so a reminder to the coaches in-house here or when they're coming, just introduce your athletes once all questions have been asked and answered. We're going to get started here this afternoon with the men's and women's golf squads here. Head coach is Nick Wanderscheid. He'll be up here in a minute. The men and the women won the Mustang Derby in the fall, setting the tone for what will be a great spring. The men also won the Mount Marty men's invite and got third place at the Virginia McCoy invite before the fall ended. And the women, meanwhile, they ranked 23rd in the NAIA poll, and they got fifth at a really competitive Northwest Iowa Invitational. So without further ado, here is Coach Nick Wanderscheid. If you give an opening remark, please.
Thanks for having us, of course, today, for sure. Both the men and the women were really, really good in the fall, to say the least. And the men, I thought we've made big improvements to last year. We've got some players that have come in that have really stepped things up for us across the board, for sure. And they were really solid and consistent all fall. The women were also really, really good. And I think the women have room to grow and room to get better. Our 1 through 3 were just seemingly awesome every single tournament, and then sometimes finding that 4 score was a little tricky each tournament. So we're working hard on that this winter, and I think the women have a ton of potential to keep it rolling in the spring.
Open it up for questions.
There's such a big mental aspect to golf. How do you, is that a little more difficult to coach than like the physical aspect of it?
Yeah, it's interesting. All the other sports are adrenaline based and reactionary and all those things. And in golf, we're just the opposite. We're trying to have like no adrenaline and have things laid out before we go so we don't make crazy decisions in the heat of the battle. So yeah, it's different. I mean, we have players on our team that played all kinds of other sports when they were growing up, and like it's a big switch to try to get them like, hey, in basketball you fist pumped and high-fived your teammates and cheered and all those things. In golf, like the best golfers look like they're robots out there and you don't know what they have going on. So yeah, for kids that have played all the other sports, it's definitely a switch trying to have the right golf mindset. But it's way different than the other sports.
What kinds of things did the golfers do well in the fall on the course that you think can translate well over to the spring?
We'll start with the men. I mean, our team is a lot longer than we were last year. I mean, we've the players that are new to us this year hit it a long ways, and the best teams and at all levels and the best pro golfers and everything. I mean, they're long, so that's helped us out a lot. I mean, it just makes things easier. The guys that maybe don't hit it as far, they've just gotten better. I mean, Dara, who you'll talk to in a second, he's just better at everything than he was last year. So there's a big jump between your freshman and sophomore year, and we've seen that for sure. The women, they're just talented. I mean, same thing. I mean, we have long hitters on the women's team also. They hit it high. They're good around the greens. I mean, they're just things that you can really separate yourself in women's golf more so than men's golf, because there can be such a bigger gap, and that's what we have. We just have 2 really good rosters right now, and they're playing really good.
So the GPAC championships are being held here in Dakota Dunes this year. Do you kind of feel a sense of home course advantage, and how do you plan to use that to your benefit this year?
Loaded question. So without getting too much into it, every GPAC team is only allowed one practice round at Dakota Dunes. So will my players have a home course advantage? No, because everybody's going to see the golf course the same amount of times this year. I've been at Dakota Dunes a lot, so yeah, I do, but I don't get to go hit the shots for them. So yeah, I mean, there's certainly things that, strategically, I'll help things, but that stuff always looks great on paper, and it doesn't matter until they're the ones that have to go hit the shots. So we can tell them all we want about the great places to be and the not so great places to be, and they still have to go do it. It is nice that it's here in town, and we're in a normal routine that week and all those things, but it never really matters where the golf course is. I mean, the team that goes out and plays the best, that's who's going to win, regardless of anything else.
What will it take to golf well, not only that week, but throughout the whole season? Is it more important off the greens, fairways, or off the tee?
Well, off the tee is always the most important thing. I mean, without a doubt, especially at Dakota Dunes. I mean, Dakota Dunes is the team that drives it the best and gets off the tee. That's who's going to win at that golf course more so than anywhere else that we play. It's really, really legit off the tee. So, yeah, we've already been talking about it. I mean, both teams like, hey, that's what the players that are driving it the best, like that's who we're going to be looking at to play in that tournament for us. And that's what it's going to take to be successful. And if, we happen to do everything else good that week, then it's probably going to be a pretty good week.
Introduce your players, please.
Do you want women first or men first?
Let's go women first.
Okay. Come on up, kids. On the left is freshman Macy Button from Ames, Iowa, and junior Lucy Brown from Southport, England.
What's been the biggest transition kind of that you guys have found going from high school to to college level golf?
I think the biggest thing is learning the courses, because obviously when you go into a new meet, you don't I'm not from this area, so just learning the new golf courses and figuring out where you should be, not be. So that's probably the biggest transition, is just knowing where to go. So.
Well, it's completely different for me. We don't play golf like this in a team at home, so just having the team environment is completely different. But yeah, I enjoy it.
Do you enjoy how much do you enjoy being a part of a team for golf?
It's nice. It's because you play for yourself and you play for a team, so it's you're not there just for yourself. You've got to think this is for all of us, and we're gonna win it as a team. It's not just it's not by yourself.
What kind of improvements did your team see from maybe last spring to the fall?
Well, I think from last season, we've improved so much. We gained quite a lot of better players. Obviously, our team's good anyway, but to have these other players that have come in and just really boosted us, I've seen a total difference in performance. Last year we didn't win GPAC. We weren't playing our best. This year we seem to just have a good connection as a team, and we've just improved a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we have a good team. I'm excited for the spring. This team, I mean, we're pretty good, so I can't wait for the spring to come and roll around and show everyone what we got. So.
How much can you guys kind of lean on each other throughout practices or whatever else to obviously, you have coaches and everything too, but how much can you guys kind of help each other?
Yeah, you got
I think with practicing, like we all practice as like a group, so like we're really big on helping each other out. We'll all go and play in groups together out on the course, or if we're at the range or the chipping area, someone needs any help, we're all open to helping each other if someone's struggling. Like we're connected like that as a team.
We're all very determined, and we all have the same goal, and so keeping that in mind, we all strive for the best for each other, and so it makes a good team. So.
Where do you think your team is striking the ball best right now?
Well, it's kind of hard to gauge when it's just been winter, but right now I think the thing that helps us as a team is the fact that we're all so close. Like we all get on really well, and whether we're hitting the ball good or not, like we all like motivate each other, tell each other like let's like the next day, like doesn't matter about what happened today, just focus on the next day. Like
Yeah, like keeping each other, like it's a mental game sport, so just making sure that everyone's in the right headspace and ready for the next tournament is the biggest thing, and so making sure that we're all 100% ready for the next meet. So. All right, thank you.
thanks.
Okay, for our men's team, Dylan Welford is a freshman from Grimsby, United Kingdom, and Dara McGrath is a sophomore from Athlone, Ireland.
I guess what were some aspects that sold you guys on coming over here for golf and to join the Morningside team?
Well, to start with, we have a great coach, great assistant coach. Out of the schools that I looked at, our coach was really the one that stood out. He sold a great program, and Morningside Golf's had a great history. They were third in the nation a few years ago before we came, and it's kind of stuck out to me.
Personally, for me, coach was the only person I spoke to. I thought it's a great program here, and I feel like everyone back in UK and Ireland, every golfer just dreams of coming here to the US college. Just the pathway into professional golf is just much better, and it's just much better facilities and opportunities in general.
What are aspects of the game that you guys enjoy?
I don't know if there's any aspects I don't really enjoy. I like playing golf a lot. I don't know what kind of, because I think Coach mentioned it earlier, I'm not the longest of hitters, but I really like the short game. That kind of aspect. That's where I can pick up the most shots than everyone else.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same as Dara. I definitely thrive short game. Just the imagining shots, kind of like around the greens and stuff, is definitely my strength.
How do you feel like you guys are striking the ball right now, especially in the short game, judging going off of your fall game too, if that's easier to answer?
I'm hitting the ball pretty good. I've been working with my coach at home a lot, and the difference between this year and last year has been massive. Like my iron play was pretty awful last year, and it's put in a lot of work over the winter. So I'm excited for the spring.
Personally, I think I'm definitely hitting it much better than last year. I feel like everyone on the team puts a lot of effort in over the winter, and I think we just build on a really good fall and go into the spring with a lot of confidence.
Is it fun for you guys to kind of get to know each other from all over the world and kind of have an international team?
Yeah, it's really good. I say we're like more than 50% internationals, so just getting to know each other's backgrounds, like how everyone goes about their day. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I think we have it's like 8 countries or something like that. Even ignoring the golf part, it's a great life experience to see that many people, that many backgrounds. It's definitely going to help after college as well, going into the work life.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next up is the Morningside baseball team under the direction of Coach Adam Boovey. The Mustangs went 35-14 and won last season. They won 19 conference games, got to host a pod. Well, kind of. It was in Yankton, but still being the host of a pod, and got to the pod championship series. And hoping to make it into the NAIA National Tournament this year. They were ranked second in the GPAC preseason baseball poll, and they have a lot of guys coming back. And here's Coach Boovey to help us talk about that.
You bet. Thanks, Zach. Yeah, just want to excited to be here. Thanks for having me. Best of luck to all of our spring sports coming up. Exciting time of year. I definitely excited to hear more about the golf team, and if Nick and the players ever want to invite me to the golf simulator, I could use some of those pointers because we got good long hitters and good short game, and my game could use some work. But on the baseball side, incredibly excited for the 2026 season about to start. We open up this weekend and couldn't be more fired up for this group, for this team to get this season rolling. So we travel down to Ozark, Missouri, Branson, play 4 games this weekend, and yeah, it's just been an exciting group from the start of the fall to where we're at now. Looking at starting the season, there's a certain energy about this group. We return an older group, a group that's got quite a bit of experience, quite a few juniors and seniors on the team this year, and I think that's going to be something that really helps us from a leadership standpoint, from guys who have been through some battles. They're kind of battle-tested group, and I'm excited to see what they bring to the table when it comes the 2026 season. So, yeah, looking forward to it a ton. We got a very challenging non-conference schedule this year. I think the GPAC itself is going to be incredibly difficult through the baseball season, and I think the non-conference schedule is going to help us prepare for that when we get there. So we were kind of purposeful in challenging us with some ranked opponents early, a challenging trip over spring break, and hopefully get us ready to make a run at a GPAC title.
The guys that you have on the mound this year, just talk about maybe 1, 2, or 3 of the guys that'll be strong in the rotation for you.
No doubt. It's a certain strength of our team for sure. Returning the guys and the pitching staff that we have, the depth of our pitching staff, led by one of them who's going to talk here soon, Cade Nolan Sr. Cade's a first team all-conference guy, and he'll come up and chat a little bit too. But with him, you got Kai Purdy Burton, also a senior, Connor Maston Jr., Tiago Sanchez with experience as well as a junior. Those guys, Sam Hansen, Zach Kelfkin, all have earned accolades in their career that we all return to the pitching staff. So having that depth, I think, is going to be something that's incredibly important to us. So really, we got a chance to see a lot of them throw in a scrimmage this past Saturday, and watching their talents and the way they attack the zone and attack headers and put pressure on is something fun to watch.
What are some things that you'd have to do to get to a place where you're fighting for a conference title, just given that like Briar Cliff came on at the end of last season, and it just feels like the conference is getting deeper every season.
It is. It seems like it gets deeper every year. There's no easy weekend. Even the teams that get left out of the conference tournament, on the bottom, they will beat you on any given day. So you got to come ready to play each and every game, every weekend. And we've been fortunate to be, fighting and clawing for a chance at the conference championship here in the last couple of years, and came up just short last year. But we want to be right there in the thick of it going into the last weekend, competing for that title. So you got to come ready. I think the 3 things for us, the talent and the experience are certainly things that we have on our team. We have a talented group of baseball players across the board. I think the 3 keys for us are going to be mentally, how mentally tough, how mentally disciplined are we? I think we're going to have to be able to withstand some adversity, go through some tough challenges, and respond the right way. How well we play together is really not a concern for me. These guys love being together. There's a certain energy about the way that they go about their daily work. Accepting of roles in certain spots is going to be important. So just how we are mentally, how we play defense. We we lost a Gold Glove shortstop last year from graduation. You know, we've lost some good defenders in the outfield, so we're going to have some spots where I think, you know, 3/4 of the way, 80% of the season last year, we were one of the top teams in the NAI as far as defensive fielding percentage. So playing defense at a high level, our pitching staff knows that they can pitch to contact and those plays are going to get made. So we got to play high level defense, play catch around the diamond at a high level. So those two things I think are incredibly important. And then we got to stay healthy. Like, you know, like the old best ability is availability, right? So we kind of got banged up middle of the year last year. Really the last 2 years, towards the end of the year, we had some of our regulars out of the lineup. So, you know, we lost Connor Mass in the middle of the year last year. We had, you know, injuries at the catching position and down the line we go. So if we can stay healthy, you know, and battle through some adversity, I think we're going to be, you know, a very talented team and challenged this year.
You speak of injuries. How is Connor, and is he 100% going into this week?
He is, yeah. He's done an incredible job through his rehab. An odd injury, what they call it a Liz Frank injury in the foot, which you don't see in baseball very often. But yeah, he's recovered incredibly well. He's pushed himself through his rehab, and he's ready to start at 100% here coming up this week.
Given how much you had to travel last year, even for some home games, what was there maybe like a team chemistry aspect to that you were around the team so much more that it maybe helped out a little bit?
I think so. I mean, yeah. The best part about last year is like we played all on the road. We didn't have a home game, but our guys handled that with really no problem. They understood that, you know, wherever they were at, they were just where their feet were, and whatever ball diamond we got to play on, call it a home and away game, they really didn't care. So that togetherness is something that's really important to us in our family culture that we buy into. You know, baseball, softball alike, there's no clock on our game. We get to spend a lot of time together. There's road trips, there's bus time, there's hotel time, and then our games are doubleheader long days. So we get a ton of downtime. They get to form those bonds and those relationships, and, you know, really enjoy taking on that competition together. So I think it helps strengthen us mentally. It helps strengthen our togetherness, and looking forward to that, you know, going into this season as well.
What do you get most excited about lineup-wise, offensive-wise?
What am I most excited about in our lineup?
Yeah.
I think we can beat you in a lot of different ways. I think our team speed has gotten better as far as the depth of our team speed. So whether that's courtesy running or guys being able to run who are in the lineup, I think we can put pressure on the bases. I think we have guys who are capable of hitting for power, but you know, also have just good hitting ability, that understand who they are as hitters. They're really bought into kind of our pack mindset on our offense, that they're one piece of that offensive run machine, and, you know, kind of doing their best job, you know, within that framework to score runs, to put quality at bats together and rack them up together and put runs on the board. So I was really impressed last year with their run scoring ability, and I really feel like we are that way again this year with the work that we put in up to this point.
All right.
Anything else?
Yeah. Okay.
Cade? We got senior starting pitcher, first team all-conference from Menifee, California, Cade Nolan.
What's up, guys?
So, Cade, you heard Coach kind of talk highly about what you provide in the pitching staff and in the pitching room. Kind of talk about, you know, one or two areas that you really focused on in the off-season, summer, fall workouts to get better.
Yeah, I think for me personally, this offseason, I really was trying to build velocity. I mean, I'm a velocity guy and kind of throw my off speed off that. So for me, I was just trying to get bigger and stronger, put on some weight, just to be able to throw that fastball a little harder and just keep hitters off balance more. And along with that, just commanding the fastball. I think the more I command the fastball and can throw fastballs in, out, up, down, I think that just makes me a better pitcher.
And then talking team-wise, maybe what are one or two things you've seen from where you've been standing, where the team has been working to get better, you know, whether it's contact hitting, power hitting, you know, on the offensive end there?
Yeah, offense that I think we have a lot of capable bats to do damage and score a lot of runs. Like what Coach Bowie was saying is, I think we have a lot of speed. We also have a lot of guys that can hit for power and just get singles. I think the more we can string hits together and just go a bat to bat at a time and just kind of focus in on pitch by pitch. I think that's the biggest key, is to not try to wait, just attack the moment and don't be complacent, like from pitch one. I think that's what we really need to do, is just go after it from pitch one, and like there's no waiting around. I think that's, and especially in GPAC play, like we play 7-inning games. There's no like need to wait around. Those games go by so fast, and as a pitching staff and as our hitting lineup, I just think getting after it from pitch one and just having that mindset to, we're going in there to compete and win every single pitch is the best part we can do.
With how deep the pitching staff is, do you feel like you can be more aggressive and not have to trudge in yourself into pitching a lot of innings and not having to go deep, knowing that you got guys behind you in the bullpen who can get it done?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I have so much confidence in our staff, and it's awesome going day to day and working with these guys. Like everybody on our staff, just they want to get better. It's a lot of personal, I guess, improvement everybody wants to do. You know, we bounce off each other. We just are always talking, always working on new things as a staff. And for me, it's like I know that if I don't have a good start, I know that next game we're putting our next best guy out there. I fully believe that from our 4 starters and all our guys in the pen, it's like we have 1A, 1B. Like we are all our aces on the team, and we all can get the job done. And I have full confidence in whoever goes in the game they're going to get the job done.
Outside of velocity, what else were you happy with your improvement by over the summer?
My development of my changeup. For my 4 years being here, I really haven't been able to utilize the changeup as well as I could have in the past. I was really just we call it a supinator. I throw fastball, curveball, slider. Those are my pitches, and I get outs on. And just having a pitch that can go the other way and just kind of back up on righty hitters and lefty hitters, just kind of it's a different look. And pitching this conference for 3 years, I think it's a very good thing that I have a new look that these hitters aren't really going to see. So I'm excited to showcase it this year and see what happens.
What do you like about the defense behind you when you're on the mound?
We just got dogs. I mean, that's the only way I can really put it. We just got guys that want to compete, and they just play hard. And I would say, Coach, we talked about our family aspect. We have a very strong brotherhood on our team, and we know that everybody's got our backs. And when we take that field, like we're playing for each other. That's the biggest thing, and I think that's why we've won 35 games every year since I've been here. We just win a lot of times, and when we take that field, it's like we have full confidence in our guys, and we just know they're going to get the job done. And if they don't get the job done, we know they're still going to get another opportunity, and they're going to get that job done.
All right, that's thank you.
Sweet, thank you.
Next up is the Mustangs softball program led by Coach Brooke Pruner. They went 35-19 last season, and we just found out this morning they were also second in the GPAC preseason poll. They went 9-0 at the Jensen Softball Complex at home last season. They advanced to the GPAC Championship Series. They won 2 games in the NAIA opening round, and they bring, like the baseball guys, they bring back a lot of players from last year's roster as well. So without further ado, here's Coach Bruner.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Just going to be a lot of what Coach Boopy said. We're very aligned with what our baseball guys are doing. We practice next to them every day, and so we're kind of in the same boat. We return 4 pitchers, 3 of which are seniors for us, and then really up and down our defense, you're going to find upperclassmen all the way through 2 catchers, junior, senior. Our middle infielders are seniors, and then we have a couple outfielders, 3 outfielders that are juniors and seniors that are make up of it. they look great. I mean, we're in a good spot. It's fun to bring back a team that has so much experience. In the fall, it kind of felt like, we're coming back like we never stopped a little bit too. And we got some new gals that will help us out a little bit and things like that. But they're a good crew. They've been chomping at the bit, I think, since we stopped in Oklahoma last year. And so it's kind of reminding them we got to keep building and can't settle for what we did last year. We're looking to go above and beyond that. So we're excited for a fun spring. We start Sunday up in Sioux Center against Benedictine and Culver Stockton. We'll play a doubleheader up there at 2 and 4.
How awesome is it to be able to start your season fairly close to home? You can still get some fans to travel up to the bubble there in Sioux Center. Talk about the momentum that maybe brings you early in the season.
Well, it's nice to, I mean, as much as the trips and staying in hotels, and our girls enjoy that, and having some of that team bonding, it is kind of nice to stay on a normal schedule. And so, yeah, I expect a lot of Morningside fans to be there, a lot of our parents, some alumni, things like that, where they can just make the quick trip. And being able to play up there in Sioux Center, it is nice. The facility, it's about as true as you can get to playing inside. So every once in a while you'll get a ceiling ball, but other than that, it is nice to kind of get a true feel for where you're at so early on in the year without having to travel too far and having your fans there to support you.
How nice is it having so much depth back in the rotation?
It's. I mean, I think every coach would say it's wonderful. It brings some challenges. Obviously, they're competing with each other a little bit too, and so as coaches, we have a lot of tough decisions sometimes. The last couple of years, we've had a ton of depth in our outfield. There's some of our better hitters in the lineup that are outfielders, but then also defensive-wise, like they can throw it out there. They'll go make big plays and stuff like that. So you'll see a different rotation out there this year a little bit because of that. We've got a transfer that will come in and kind of take some of those innings, and it makes for fun for our coaching staff to kind of figure out, okay, what's going to work best for us today, which pitcher is going to be the one to kind of take on that first inning or whatever.
There's so many different aspects of being a college coach, from recruiting to like the X's and O's on game day and everything. How much more comfortable are you just kind of being in charge of the program versus like maybe your first year?
It's fun to have, I think of this group that I have, the seniors, there's 7 of them. They're my first group. So they're my first group that is fully mine all the way through. And so having that comfortability, when we text in our group chat or we have senior meetings and things like that, it makes it a lot easier as a head coach. And all the ones before I was their assistant, but there is a little bit different of a feeling to that with this group, that everybody from top to bottom is somebody that I recruited and have coached here for 4 years. So that makes it a lot easier. But yeah, you just get comfortable. You kind of learn what works best for you as a coach and what works best for each team that comes through, because they change every year. So it kind of feels like you kind of got to mold to what they will accept and things that work best for them.
In terms of the pitching staff, how have they improved in the fall and the winter?
Yeah, we talk about it a lot every year. It's so hard in our conference to return as a pitcher. I think actually you have a lot of success as a freshman, and then people learn you pretty fast. And so a lot of our pitchers have added pitches. They'll kind of change the way they throw a little bit as well too. Morgan, who you'll talk to, last year she added an inside drop ball that we really felt was a game changer for her. This year she's worked a lot on her rise and things like that. And obviously she's still you're still sticking with what got you here and what makes you successful, but they've done a lot of work changing different things. So all 4 of them that will showcase, like they all kind of have done some different things throughout the off season just to make themselves look a little bit better. And also, the game film's out there, so they got to do something a little bit different to help themselves out. So yeah, they've looked probably the best in my 4 years as far as a pitching staff. Like in the fall, they were throwing extremely well, and so I think they're pretty comfortable and ready to roll at this point.
All right.
Morgan Sikora, senior pitcher. She's from Gretna, Nebraska.
All right, Morgan. Well, Coach kind of talked about the things that maybe you and the rest of the pitching staff have really tried to maybe change or tweak a little bit as we head into the season this spring. Kind of talk about, how you approach that, how you attack maybe tweaking your game just a little bit.
I kind of take it day by day. I want to be better every day, 1% better. So like whether we're doing bullpens through the week or doing like live, I like to see like how my pitches are moving, like how batters are approaching my pitching, and then just try and develop it as the season goes.
Are you happy with how that analytical side of the pitching has gone?
Yeah, I think so. I think that like how I've been developing my pitches has been really effective, and I'm excited to see like how me and the other girls on the pitching staff do this season.
How have you and the rest of the pitching staff kind of worked together to better yourselves individually and kind of as a group?
We're really close. Like I would say, like we're always helping each other. Like a lot of times we'll be like, hey, can you stand in and watch this pitch, see how it's moving, tell me what you think looks weird, or like how could I make this better? So we learn a lot from each other, and I think it comes with like we compete with each other as well. So it's a very respectful, like fun competition that we get to have with each other, and we just push each other every day.
Have the hitters provided any feedback?
Yes, they have. We have a really, really great offense this year. We normally do, but I think something about this year, we're more aggressive, I think. So it is harder to throw against my teammates because they like to swing at everything and make contact with it. So that's really fun for me to see because it makes it feel more like what we're going to get when we get into a harder competition, and it pushes me to be better. So,
Following up on the question with the hitting lineup, obviously you said they're very aggressive. What does that allow you to do at the plate? Maybe you trying to maybe be aggressive yourself, knowing that, okay, if this doesn't quite, hit where I'm trying to get it to, we give up a run or two, but I know on the back end we can score 3 or 4 in any given inning with the hitting lineup. What does that do for you mentally?
it helps me push to a spot where I can be uncomfortable. A lot of times in games, there are going to be times where, like, I do have the bases loaded. It is a close game, and it pushes me into a spot where I can get comfortable with being uncomfortable, which I think is really important for pitching, especially because it is such a mental game. So having them push me into maybe different situations, I can experiment more with pitches I might not be so comfortable with, so that I can get comfortable with them.
What kind of experience did you get from nationals last year that you can use this year, and the team for that matter too?
Yeah, I would say like the teams we faced at nationals, mainly the OCU team, they are very aggressive. So I think it's nice that our batters have been aggressive, and it's showing me a different way to maybe persevere a little bit more, be a little stronger in my mental game, and just be confident in what my coaches are calling, in my abilities, things like that. So.
Good. All right. Point. Next up, the tennis squads, led by Morningside grad Alex Strug. They actually competed last weekend in the Quad Cities, with the men winning 6-1 and the women winning 5-2. 4 qualified for the ITA Cup in the fall, so they had a successful fall, and hopefully it translates over into the spring. Here is Coach Alex Strug.
Hi, thanks for having me. Yeah, like he was saying, just had our first match of the spring last Friday. Started with Indiana Wesleyan, who's traditionally a very strong team in the Midwest. And it was the first time our women have ever beaten a top 25 team in program history. They were ranked 17, and so a really good springboard for the women's team. And the guys came out and took care of business and won 6-1 against a veteran team and a very well-coached team. So excited to have that keep pushing forward into next weekend when we take on McPherson and Nebraska Kearney, a D2 school. And as I mentioned as well from the fall, a really strong fall season. We went to our GPAC tournament and won all our draws, singles and doubles on both sides. And then in the ITA regional, there's 8 regions in the country, and in R1 there's 30-plus teams, and so the biggest region. And we won singles and doubles on men and women. And so first time the men have ever had a champion on either side. And Lena Jensen, you'll talk to in a little bit, it's a back-to-back singles championship, and then won the doubles as well with Brooke Marshall. And so we feel like we have a very balanced team with depth up top, strong up top all the way through. And 5 of 6 returners are back from last year with some good freshmen and transfer on both sides. So a good mix of returners and new pieces, and we're really excited to see how this plays out this season.
So tennis can kind of be a little bit of a niche sport here in the Midwest, but you do a fantastic job letting the media know, what's going on, when it's going on, which we appreciate. And I really feel like that's maybe drummed up some support, in the past few years about this team and what they can do, both men and women. Talk about, from the moment you got here and took the coaching position to where it's at now, where you feel you've elevated the most.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say, like, when I played here, we had solid teams, but it didn't feel as tennis oftentimes, especially in Iowa from high school experience, now in college, kind of as an intramural sport per se when I was here. Like, it didn't seem as serious viewed as like football or basketball, baseball, volleyball. And so the goal when I came back was we wanted to have the respect of other sports as well and realize we put a lot of work in our sport as well. And so we added a lot more. We made it a lot more year round, and we're getting good results, which is nice. But I think the community, the family aspect has been big, where it spreads on campus. And if you come to a home match, there's a lot of different students from other sports that are watching us, and the energy we have. And I mean, I was looking back at pictures from last year, and just some of the crowd shots that our SIDs take are really cool to see the energy behind it. And so Sergeant Bluff Luton, the high school here, they kind of took off, and we took off as well. And some of those guys were in middle school, and they saw us starting to find some success. And so we've crossed paths with them, and they've built energy in the high school level. And I think both of us have kind of taken that as well. And then our indoor courts, First Serve Tennis Center, they added 3 courts a few years ago, and now we have 6 courts there. And so I think tennis and Siouxland community overall, just with all 3 pieces there, with Sergeant Bluff kind of leading the high school, us having success, and our indoor courts really branching out, has been a good mix for tennis in our area.
As far as kind of developing the program, how much do you kind of lean on the seniors to help develop the freshmen and the underclassmen?
That's a good question. So when I started, we had 3 guys on our team, and this year we had a couple of my first group of guys graduate in December, and we have a couple others graduating now, and they've been huge setting that culture and a huge role and reason why we've had that success, not just on court but off the court as well. I know it was mentioned in other interviews here today with like that brotherhood. We definitely have that as well, and they're very influential in that. And so special people to come here, take a chance on me in Morningside and help get this to what it is now. And then the people we've had followed behind them have really taken that and kept pushing going forward. So it's been a really good mix and very international driven. We had 16 different countries on our team the last 2 years combined, men and women. And so from all over the world they come together, and it's more than just playing tennis. I mean, we're learning about each other, and we have a family away from their main home. So it's much more than just on-court performance and saying that family aspect. I mean, it is, if they need to go to the doctor, go to the grocery store, whatever it may be, I mean, it turns into a real big family on both sides helping each other out.
What did you see from over the weekend that impressed you?
Yeah, I mean, just starting, like I said, you'll talk to Lena, but she played the 13th rated singles player in the country and won 6-1, 6-3. It's a very straightforward win against one of the best. And just having her up top, knowing that you feel pretty good in every single match is a huge, I think, sigh of relief for the rest of the girls. I mean, they just feel really good from one on down. So having her take care of business like that was really important. We have 2 freshmen playing 2 doubles for us from Germany, and they came out and played. One of the girls they played against was an ITA Cup doubles qualifier, and they won 6-1 in the first set of doubles. And I think when we saw those 2 freshmen have that success, everybody else is like, man, the floodgates are open, let's go. And it continued into singles where they did a really good job rallying for each other, playing for each other. We've talked a lot about the mental side and handling hard better, and when things did get tight or got tough, they responded very well and were resilient through adversity. And so that was encouraging this weekend. And then the guys, we only had 1 loss. It was number 1 singles player, but he played the number 9th rated player in the country, and it was in a super tie break, and he was up in that super tie break. And so even though that was our only loss or lost point of that match, the way he battled and the way he was that close against one of the nation's best was very encouraging. And down the line, the rest did very good. And we won some in super tie breaks. You'll talk to Alexi Diaz here in a bit, and he came out and gutted one out in the 3rd set, and Jesse Girth as well. And so even though we'd like to win in straight sets, having that experience winning some in super tie breaks early in the season will help us going forward.
Is there like certain tournaments you identify throughout, like from a recruiting standpoint, how do you go about putting together such an international group?
Yeah, a lot of my friends ask this. Like when I started, we needed guys so badly, and it was in like June, and so all the Americans are typically committed by that point, and so I just had to jump into international recruiting for spring arrivals, and it works kind of like professional athletics, where they have a lot of them have agents or agencies that work with them and help them. Some work on their own, and it's emails, but it's all video calls, emailing, all electronic. It'd be great to take trips and see them over there, but I mean, just with time and budgets, that's tough to do, and so a lot of it's just a lot of video calls at all times of the day with that time change. You want men or women first?
Women.
You'll talk to Lena Jensen Jr. from Denmark, our number one singles and doubles player.
So obviously you guys just had a very successful weekend. Talk about the momentum that really brings as you guys get ready to start things rolling a little more heavy in the spring here.
Yeah, I definitely think it brings a lot of momentum. We were all really confident. I think we can still build on that confidence. So yeah, but I think it really got the girls excited to start this season for real.
How do you feel like you've grown as a player since you've been here?
I think I've grown a lot mentally. I usually put a lot of pressure on myself to perform, but I've really grown, and the match I played this weekend was the best I've ever been mentally. I had no negative thoughts or anything, but then also just I've grown as a tennis player in matches, stepping up to the ball, and I've really worked on my footwork this semester or this year, and it really paid off, I think.
How do you sustain that mental toughness for the rest of the season?
I think it's just important to tell yourself that you can't perform your 100% every time, so just sometimes having to step back and go back to the basic is kind of what keeps me going.
Coach talks about family a lot. Obviously, you're from Denmark, and a lot of college programs or professional programs like to say, hey, we're a family here. But what does it mean to you being oceans away or an ocean away from your family to kind of have a built-in one being part of the Morningside Tennis Program?
I mean, it's amazing. From the moment I got here, I just made friends forever. Just this Christmas, I went with my doubles partner to Australia and spent Christmas with her and her family, and all the Americans are really good at inviting us to Thanksgiving and all of their holidays, so I think that's what makes it important.
Talk a little bit more about that chemistry between you and Brooke and how that translates onto the court.
I mean, yeah, we're roommates, we're best friends. Just spent a month with her. But yeah, we just have an amazing chemistry both on and off the court. I think it really showed in the ITA tournament. She's a really, really good doubles player, where I have always played more singles. So we work really well together in that aspect. But also just in the ITA tournament, I usually played 2-3 single matches before I had to go play doubles that day, and she really helped me, motivated me, was okay, I know you're tired, but we just got to push through. So that really built on our relationship.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Alexis Diaz from France, senior, and he was a singles and doubles champion at ITA regionals in the fall.
I guess I'll kind of start off with the same kind of question. Obviously this weekend, very successful for the team, you individually, and just talk about where that kind of puts you guys at the start of the season and building momentum-wise as the spring season rolls on.
And this is always good to start the season with a win. So and a pretty good win. Everybody had good matches. Mentally, physically, we all feel good. We had a really good weekend. And I mean, even if Marcos lost his first match, I think we all are confident that we're gonna have a really good season, and that's gonna be great.
Have you found yourself maybe taking on a little bit more of a leadership role, being a senior now?
I just arrived 2 years ago. That's my second year in Morningside. So I'm not as a leader as the other guys from the team that are here for already 4 years. But definitely, like me winning the ITR regionals and just being one guy in the lineup, I feel like I have this obligation to push everybody in the team to be better every day. So yeah, it's not that I have to do it, but I think this is a good thing for the team, and I think we all push each other, so yeah.
What part of your game were you pleased by the most this weekend?
I was pretty happy with my mental aspect because I saved the match point this weekend, and like tennis is a really mental sport, so sometimes we get mad, sometimes it's frustrating, and I think I was pretty calm on the court, so yeah, besides that 8-all, I did a double fault. That was maybe not the best moment of the match to do that, but yeah, I knew how to rebound and just win that match, so yeah. Thank you.
And last but certainly not least this afternoon are the men's and women's track and field teams here at Morningside. They're already well into their indoor season. Their outdoor season comes up in a few weeks. The women's distance medley relay was second this past weekend in Mankato with a time of 12 minutes and 25 seconds, and they reached the B standard there. Courtney Sporer had a new indoor school record in the mile with a time of 10:09. That was a few weeks ago. And also this past weekend, Morgan Sachs and Ava Lang were both in the top 10 in the 600-meter run at Concordia. Theo Mosman won the 400-meter run on Saturday in Seward with a time of 49.49 seconds after winning the 600-meter back at a previous meet in Seward in December. Boston Reedman was second on January 24th at the Dennis Young Classic in Storm Lake in the 60-meter hurdles at 8.73 seconds, and Zach Luzzi had two top six finishes in the field events in the shot put and the weight throw there. So a lot to celebrate for head coach Frank Wallace, and here he is to talk a little bit more about that.
Good evening. Thank you guys for being here. So as you mentioned, we've been rolling since December 5th. With our indoor season, we've had probably about 3 weeks until the conference meet. I believe it's on February 21st. Time is kind of flying with that. So just kind of ravel off some of the performances that we've kind of conquered throughout the indoor season. That's just a little bit of what we've accomplished. We've got a team this year of people who want to really compete well and do well, and it's taken a lot for them to kind of reach this point. We started training September 5th, I believe, for our fall training to gear up for December and kind of roll through the Christmas break, go to January, so on and so forth. So we're just kind of gearing up for conference championships and then nationals 2 weeks after.
Talk a little bit about your specialty. Obviously, I know you oversee kind of everything, but where are you more hands-on? What have you seen develop in that hands-on aspect?
So for me personally, I coach the speed and power events is what I call it. So you're looking at the sprints, hurdles, jumps, and relays, as well as kind of dipping into the mid-distance events. Some of the 800 runners, me and my assistant, we split it. Depending on what their specialties are. Some 800 runners go up, and some of them go down to the 6 and to the 4. So with that, I just cover really the speed and power events, and then our programming for our weights as well.
What have you been impressed by, speed and power wise?
I would just say the hunger. I mean, they know that I'm kind of a no sugarcoating type of person when it comes to my coaching. So whatever I bring to them, I want them to accept it and really embrace it. So I feel like that's been a big part of our program and how they accept, this workout's going to be tough. but this is why we do it. It's going to make us better. I think that's the biggest thing from our groups across the board.
Throughout the season, you guys have been posting new PRs, new season bests, week in and week out. What does that mean to you, just to see that kind of growth individually, as well as helping the team that way?
I think it's a step in the right direction for us. It's important for the kids to be able to see that. Sometimes it's a lot of it going on, and I don't really get to soak it in week to week. So we kind of sit back and reevaluate on Sunday, kind of come out Monday, just look at what we've done, and just really get ready for the next day. I have a saying of telling my kids, be where their feet are, because the moment sometimes can be a little bit too big if you think about what you need to do versus just kind of being right where you need to be. So,
how much do the upperclassmen help kind of develop the underclassmen and kind of pass some things along to build the program?
So it's kind of like a big brother, big sister type of deal. They kind of just take them under their wings. They know us more than the freshmen coming in and some of the sophomores even. So being able to have people that they can look up to and that know the ropes of being successful within the program, I think is huge for them. And then for us coaches, when all the freshmen came in, I sat down and met with them one-on-one, and we kind of went over our blueprint. And we mapped it out for them. I gave them a paper, saying, this is what it looks like for us. And if you follow this, you will be successful within this program.
Are there certain aspects of kind of being in charge of the program that you're more comfortable doing now as opposed to like your first year, even from like recruiting standpoint or anything like that?
I would say paperwork. Filling out the expense reports and filling out receipts has become a little bit more comfortable and more to my liking. But from a recruiting standpoint, it gets easier every year. You start to gain more momentum and be able to kind of find your niche within that recruiting.
How much have the distance runners kind of taken that momentum from the fall and taking it into indoor?
Yeah, so they have a chip on their shoulder, just because the conference is always tough. When you have teams like Dordt, you got College of St. Mary on the women's side. So our distance team has been running with a chip on their shoulder. I mean, our team in general, just because we're smaller than some of the other GPAC teams. So being able to compete with some of those teams who are ranked second in the country, who are ranked top 5, top 10 within the country, really helps us respect who we are and helps us remember who we are within a smaller program.
What have you seen from the throwers and jumpers? I know they're not all competing on the indoor side, but what optimism do you have for them from what you've seen on the indoor side, and especially going into the outdoor side?
So in comparison to last year, I mean, there's a lot of good glimpses of where they can be. When we coach kids, we kind of err on the side of what we really think they can do and like what that big goal looks like. So when we're coaching them and we see certain things, we try to cue it to them like, this is a good sign for you. You can really be within this seat if you want to develop that way. What we've seen so far from our jumpers, from our throwers, they're young. They're very young. The jumpers that we do have, they've got a year or two experience under their belt. As one of them is sitting number 6 in the conference right now. So, I mean, the plan is for them to go out and just do what they need to do.
If you could introduce your one of your athletes, please. I don't care which one.
Who wants to go first? Morgan Sachs, Omaha, Nebraska, sophomore.
Hi, thank you for having me.
All right, Morgan, so just talk about your growth. Obviously, I think September 5th was the date Coach kind of pointed out as to where the grind really started for you guys getting ready for indoor season and spring outdoor season. Talk about where you've grown the most and where you hope to grow as the season continues.
Yeah, I would say at the beginning of the season when we started training, my weakness was definitely on the mental side, just as it was last year. Coach has had multiple sit-down meetings with me, just really focusing on that, working on that, just building some mental toughness. So I think I've definitely improved with that and realizing that my identity isn't in my race. It helps a lot just having him there, reminding me just that I do deserve this. I deserve this spot. I've worked for this. So I think my mental toughness has definitely gotten stronger, and Coach has helped me a lot with that.
What have you been most impressed by, individual and team-wise, so far in the indoor season?
Team-wise, I would say the freshmen this year brought in a lot of energy, which was really helpful for us. Just definitely built up the energy overall as a team. Our team definitely is just more fun. It's more positive. Coming to practice knowing that it is going to suck, but it's that way for a reason. We're here to work, not to mess around, even though we do have a good time. Individually, I'm just excited to grow. I'm excited to work, put in the effort. I'm very thankful to have my teammates by my side. They're there with me going through the tough workouts every day. So, yeah.
How much do you kind of have to lean on that mental toughness to maybe get through like the day-to-day when it can be a little more up and down, but still kind of keep your mind on like end of the season goals and big picture stuff?
Yeah, so you have to really work on just, if you have a bad race, just kind of getting over it. You can't focus on that. You can't just, you have to go into the next race thinking positive that like I said, like you do deserve this. I do deserve this. And at the end of the year, this is what I want. Coach and I have had sit-down conversations of what our goals are. Before every meet, we set aside like what our goals are and what we want. If we don't get those goals, that's okay. We have to work for it next time. We know what we need to do, and Coach shows us what we need to do during those practices. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Lane Kruger, George, Iowa.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So to start off with, kind of same premise question I asked Morgan. You know, September, back when you guys started the grind of trying to get ready for indoor and then the spring outdoor season, you know, where do you feel like individually you've really stepped your game up and grown?
You know, I think I've grown physically. I've gotten a lot faster since last year, and even in high school I've gotten a lot faster. But I think the biggest growth is definitely the mindset, because last year as a freshman, didn't really know what to expect, kind of the young buck coming in. But the mindset growth over the last year I feel like is crucial for what's going on now.
When it comes to mindset, being a sophomore and being asked to kind of speak for the team, what does that do to you mentally? Like, okay, Coach has faith in me, not only on my abilities of, you know, getting a PR or running well, but to represent Morningside in the track program.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels it feels really good to have like these freshmen looking up to me. I've had some talk to me about their goals and all that. Just being a leader for the team, it feels good to just lead the team.
But on that same aspect, since you are just a sophomore, do you look up to the older athletes and talk to them about your goals as well?
Of course, yeah. They've been here for a while. I look up to like people like Theo Mosman. He works hard every day in practice. He's a good leader, upperclassman. I always look up to him in practice all the time.
Is the mental side, is that a bigger jump going from competing at the high school level to being at college, or is it another aspect that you've kind of noticed that you've had to make the biggest jump?
Yeah, coming out of high school, I mean, it's a little deceiving seeing all these really fast times coming out of high school. And high school, I wasn't the fastest guy out there. I mean, it's just how it is. But it's maybe a little deceiving, but for me, I knew I was going to get better mentally, physically. I knew I was going to get faster. I put all my faith and trust into Coach Wallace. It's just trusting the process.
Where would you like to see yourself improve for the rest of the indoor season and then, of course, the outdoor season?
Mentally, for sure. Keeping a good mindset the whole year. Times they're up and down. I mean, we all have bad meets. But I'll get better as the season goes on. And just trying to be consistent, I feel like, is key.
And as a sprinter, that kind of is important to stay consistent. Where do you feel like you need to improve? Out of the blocks, just keeping a fast pace. Where do you need to improve? I feel like you need to improve.
So
from an actual running standpoint,
I'd say the biggest part of my race to probably improve on is definitely out the starts. I've never been like the greatest out the starts. They're not bad, and we've been working them on practice every now and again. But like the second half of my race, I feel like is my best race. I can get the top speed. But yeah, blocks is just probably the biggest part of my race to be working on. But
All right. Thank you.
thank you.
And that'll conclude this edition of the Spring Sports Media Day 2026. To find out more about all of our spring sports and off-season sports, head to msidemustangs.com. For Sports Information Director Nick Booth and the rest of our staff here at Morningside University, Zach James saying thank you so much for tuning in to Spring Sports Media